In the last video, I showed you the kumquat varieties Mum grows and some home remedies you can make with them. Now I'm going to show you one of our favorites, Mum's Kumquat and Mandarin Jam recipe. It's a celebration of two citrus fruits that peak in an Australian winter. And with this single jam recipe, it unlocks so many others, including a refreshing drink and a sweet treat inspired by a dessert I had at dinner by Heston, which I'll show you later on. To make Mum's Kumquat and Mandarin Jam recipe, you're going to need 250 grams of kumquats. She's using Nagami variety here, and 700 grams of mandarin. So first you're going to need to peel all those mandarins and remove as much of the white pith as possible. Then slice them up to remove any seeds. So that's the mandarin fruit prepared. Next you want to thinly slice the kumquats and make sure you discard all the seeds. You can use your fingers, but I like to use a toothpick to remove the tiny seeds. It's a bit of work, but worth it because you just get a better texture jam. Next, Mum adds 1 cup of raw sugar to the prepared fruits and then tosses that through. Then she lets it sit for 30 minutes to macerate it, and this just gives her a head start in the jam making process. After 30 minutes, you can see the juices have been drawn out, so just add those macerated fruits and the syrup into a pot. Then bring it to a boil over high heat for 10 minutes and then reduce the heat to medium, and you just want to stir it occasionally. You can see it start to thicken, and this is where Mum adds a squeeze of lemon juice, which just helps it set beautifully. The total cook time is around 35 minutes. Mum likes her jam quite concentrated with a really thick consistency. You know the jam's done when it coats the spatula and doesn't run off easily. So take it off the heat, let it settle for 5 minutes before adding the hot jam to a sterilized jar. And that's how much jam Mum ended up with, so it didn't quite fill the whole jar. And then you're just going to seal it tightly and allow it to cool. And if you want to mix things up in the morning instead of your usual coffee or tea, try this. Drop 2 teaspoons of the jam into a cup or mug. I just added 2 fresh kumquat slices for an extra brightness and then top it with warm water. It's such a beautiful, refreshing citrus tea to start your morning, but really, you can have it any time of the day. I was gifted Earl Grey tea that sat in my cupboard for months. It was too strong to drink on its own. Then I tried Earl Grey chocolate mousse at dinner by Heston's and was like, wow, this is how you use Earl Grey. And this is just a pick my friend took of the dish. And that subtle citrus note in the chocolate really inspired me to make an Earl Grey chocolate ganache tart. All I did was infuse warm cream with Earl Grey for 10 minutes. Then I spreaded a generous layer of Mum's kumquat and mandarin jam across each small pastry base. Then I just strained out the tea and then melted like 70% dark chocolate into the hot cream and then just whisked it until it looked smooth and glossy. Then poured over the ganache. From the outside it looks like a really unassuming chocolate tart, but when you take a bite you get like a double surprise. So you get the subtle bergamot from the Earl Grey tea and the chocolate, then a hit of Mum's jam underneath. It's a great celebration of different citrus, and this is definitely a more grown-up dessert, but it's one of my favorite ways to enjoy Mum's kumquat and mandarin jam.